Hi, Meetu.
रुक जाओ रुक जाओ रुक जाओ Okay, I think it is. Yep, it's live. And hi, Arushi.
Hi, Meetu. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too. Thank you. Um, how excited are you for this?
I am pretty excited. I'm really looking forward to talking about relationships and abundance and energies and everything under the sun.
Um, this is like a sort of like a snippet of what we're going to cover today, like
Yeah.
tomorrow actually, because we're going live tomorrow. Um, First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who sent in their queries the last time we were live on Instagram. Guys, don't worry, we're going to take all the questions this time and hopefully we can answer your questions properly. If not, please let us know in the comment section or via DMs or any other means available to you, and we'll get back to you in the next lives. So, how are you feeling, Meetu?
I'm feeling great and I'm really excited to welcome all the subscribers to my channel.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. And more than fun, I think it's going to also be very informative and eye-opening for some people. Like some people shared on our live the
Hmm.
last time, Instagram live, and now we are on YouTube live.
Hmm. And what gave you the idea for doing this live? Like, what do you think was the real reason why you signed up for it?
I, it's like we've had so many conversations like this, and I know whether we have been doing this conversation privately or sitting after the transformation circle sessions and
Yeah.
talking about these things with everyone just over a cup of coffee or tea. It's been so enlightening. In fact, people went away with real insights into their life, into their relationships,
Hmm.
into just how they can be a better version of themselves. So I think this is something that needs to be shared with the world. And of course, I've thought of writing it in a book, and probably I am going to very soon.
Yeah.
But this is something I feel everyone deserves to know, should know.
Hmm.
Um, because you know what? There's so many books out there that talk about personal growth in life, but sometimes books stop at a very theoretical level. It
Yeah.
doesn't go to the practical level. It's like,
Yeah.
I know I need to change this, but how do I do this? Or
Yeah.
how do I figure out what I need to change? I can see this is a problem, but how is this a problem in my life? Or how is this affecting my life?
Yeah.
So I think this live was really focused on helping people understand themselves, understand their relationships, understand their perspective about life.
Mm.
Because let's face it, we do not have enough time in our everyday lives to actually think about what am I feeling, how am I looking at life, how am I feeling about a particular situation or a person. And we just keep going through life so mechanically.
Yeah. True.
So, this is like an effort to kind of wake up. It's like a conscious living effort.
Mm.
And that's also what I plan to call my project very soon. It's called Conscious Living Project.
Oh, wonderful. And what is it about now? Now you've had my you've piqued my interest. Come on, tell me. What is it about?
So, Conscious Living Project is just this, we go through life with such mechanical finesse that we wake up, we do things, we interact with people, we make relationships, we have heartbreaks, and we go through things in the same way throughout life. It's
Mm.
like we keep doing the same things over and over, and yet most often we keep expecting different results.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example of living a mechanical life, living like a zombie or a robot.
Oh, yeah.
That's living through the subconscious patterns. We're not conscious of how we can create our life in a different way.
Hmm.
The Conscious Living Project is focused on helping people wake up to their subconscious patterns
Wow.
and start living more consciously with more awareness and creating a life that they actually desire instead of what they have created in the past through their subconscious patterns and conditionings.
So you were saying that instead of just watching it from a backseat or from like a passive mode on or like an observer point of view, why not actively participate by being aware of your surroundings? Is that correct?
Yeah, in a way, because it's like, you sit in the car and you start driving to your office and you drive there every day and every day and every day. And then one day you decide to visit your friend and you start driving and you just realize you're actually driving towards your office, whereas your friend lives on the other side of the town.
Yeah.
And that's how, sometimes we take turns which we are conditioned to take instead of taking new turns.
Yeah.
Although we are in the driving seat, but we are not present while we are driving.
Mm.
So this is like waking up to to the present moment, to the reality that listen here now, drive, listen, think where you're going and where you want to go.
It actually makes so much sense. This reminds me of a conversation I was having with a friend a few hours ago today. So I was just having like a casual chat, like what's going on and stuff like that. We were catching up after a long time. And so he said that he's in a relationship and this and that. And I just got to know more and more about whatever was going on there. And I realized something which is very similar to what you just pointed out, that he's practically dating very similar kind of women over a period of time. And
Hmm.
I mean, we're friends, right? No judgment, but we're friends, and that's how friends, slag each other or like pull each other's legs and mess around. So I was like, dude, you have a taste for psychos. I'm telling you. And he just laughed in my face. I'm like, no, seriously, you have a very particular taste for psychos. And no, I wasn't coming from a space of judgment, but there is a particular pattern or a streak of these women who are very confused within themselves, and it's very specific. So
Instead of judgment, it's actually observation.
is it? Some might take it as a judgment, so just clarifying. But yeah, something that I observed, that these are the kind of traits which are common in every person he has dated so far in his life. And that just made me think about, relationships and how we just, like you said, how we just go on doing the same thing over and over and expecting different result. Like maybe this time it's going to work out, or maybe this time it's going to be different. Maybe this is the one that I'm supposed to be, I don't know, forever with, or whatever it is there, in people's heads. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So coming back to the topic relationships and whatever we're going to cover in the coming few weeks. So you and I have had a little chat about this in the past few days, seeing the lovely response that we got from our viewers on the Instagram live. So covering all these topics, which I'm just going to briefly touch upon. So, for every subscriber and viewer out there who's watching this right now, we're going to be covering self love and boundaries tomorrow. And next week onwards, there are a few more topics. So, every week we're going to do this, and every week we're going to pick one topic. And this is under our relationship series. So, of course, there are more series coming up. So, the next few topics are codependency and dating rules, conflicts, sex, breakups, communication, and maybe more so to come in the next few weeks or so. We haven't decided yet, guys. But whatever queries you have, please feel free to DM us or send it in the comment section below, and we'll get back to you regarding that. How excited are you regarding these topics, Neetu? Like, what comes to your mind when I just said all these topics right now?
It's pretty exciting because I think a lot of people, including us,
Mhm.
have gone through similar things, are going through similar things that we've just talked about. And, we wished in those moments that somebody told us, somebody drove some sense into us,
Yeah.
or somebody just kind of showed us a mirror that, dude, this is what's going on, wake up.
Hmm.
So I think, yeah, I'm really excited because uh, it's better to learn from others' mistakes
Yeah.
rather than from learning your own mistakes over and over.
um, that is actually very right. And speaking of the topic for tomorrow, that is self love and boundaries. I was just wondering, of course, we're gonna cover the topic and what it means and the real context and all the questions and queries that we have to answer. But I just have a feeling that somehow, to an extent, boundaries are not followed or not, you know, established in the first place in a relationship because somehow we're just too overwhelmed with our emotions or whatever is going on in our head prior to whatever is actually happening in front of us. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. We are most of the time we are in our heads. We are thinking, oh, what is that person thinking about me? Oh, I need to do this. Oh, maybe they felt bad. Oh, maybe this is happening. It's like we're living on assumptions and we're living inside our head instead of stepping out there, actually being present for ourselves and for the other person, and really assessing what's happening,
Mm-hmm.
what is really needed, and am I taking up my own space and am I giving that person their space?
Yeah.
And like basically clearly speaking, where do I end and where does the other person begin?
Mm-hmm.
And when those boundaries are so fluid,
Mm-hmm.
we end up feeling either suffocated or completely separated emotionally. And we wonder what happened, how much do I call you? Or how much do I call this person? Or am I calling too much? Or am I intruding too much? Or am I not asking enough?
Mm-hmm.
That those things come from lack of a proper sense of boundaries.
Yeah.
And then, everybody has their own way of dealing with emotions. So, do I need to have a boundary and, be with them, or do I need to give them more space so that they can process what they're going through? What do I need to do in this moment when I'm with the person? And also, it's interesting. Sometimes it just feels like I am no longer present in the relationship.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the whole of my life revolves around the other person, and a lot of people experience that.
Mm-hmm.
When they're in a relationship, they forget everything else: life, work, friends, everything else. Just one person exists for them.
Yeah.
And the moment the relationship stops to work, then it feels like the whole world has fallen apart.
Hmm. Because it
So
has. Technically, it has.
technically, it has. So, how do we actually understand what boundaries are? How do we make sure that, we learn to respect our boundaries and respect everyone else's boundaries too? And, um, the nitty-gritties of it. Because
Mhm.
I'm sure a lot of questions will come up when we start talking about boundaries.
Yeah.
When I started, I had a lot of questions like, how does it even work? So, so I'm really looking forward to talking about it tomorrow.
Just a very tiny note about boundaries. When you just mentioned right now, assessing what's happening and this and that, you know what came up for me? Because I know I'm working on my boundaries right now, but it's like a constant work in progress. You can never say that, oh, I've completely done this chapter and it's over and I know I'm a pro or whatever. I'm sure everybody struggles with this. So something that just came up for me right now when you were saying about, like when you were talking about boundaries was, if I am taking a pause and assessing what's happening in front of me, will the other person not judge me for being too slow? This is something very interesting that I hadn't observed before. So,
Interesting. Hmm. It makes you wonder sometimes whether it's your assessment and judgment or whether it's somebody else's assessment and judgment of being slow.
mm,
Also, because, when I work with clients in my practice, um, it's interesting point about boundaries. I ask them, do you have a healthy boundary like a fence with a gate in it? Or do you have walls and you're barricaded behind your walls? Or do you have nothing, no wall there, no fence in? Anybody can just walk in and move out. What does your life look like?
that's some really powerful imagery right there for us to assess what
Yeah,
boundaries mean for us and something to definitely think about before
yeah,
we dive deeper into this topic, whether this exists for us or not. This is a very basic question that you have rightly put, that what exactly do your boundaries look like? How they feel like to you? Whether anybody can walk in, or, like a wall, like nobody can walk in, or are you somewhere in between, and what happens? This is something very nice. And I think everybody should think about this before they actually think about what goes on in a relationship with respect to the boundaries. Like
Yeah,
what exactly you have in your head as a concept of boundaries, as opposed to in a relationship, let's say in a personal relationship, family, friends, or even at work, you know?
yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, you're definitely right about that. And this is something very powerful imagery. And I think I'm gonna use this for future. Every time I think I don't have a boundary, or maybe I'm doing too much, this is a very powerful tool that you just gave all of us. Thank you so much for that. And
You're
as we
welcome.
were as we were talking about emotions earlier, this is something that I am really looking forward to. I'm so upset about the fact that my books haven't arrived. The one that you wrote with all the practical tips and tricks about emotions and how to navigate through them. The book is called Happy Inside Out for all our
Yeah.
subscribers and viewers. And would you like to share your experience when you were writing the book, Neetu?
I would love to do that. In fact, I'm doing an online book launch event, and it's happening this Sunday.
Yeah,
That's, I think, the 14th of April.
yeah.
And I'll be discussing everything that went on in the background while writing the book.
Wow.
And it was, I would say, a roller coaster journey.
Hmm.
Uh, but it was also a very exciting journey because while I was finalizing the book, I was down with a major viral, and I
Oh,
was still driven to doing it because that was what the heart was calling out to. And yeah, there are many interesting stories behind the book, and I would love to talk about them, and inviting everybody to the book launch event on Sunday for Happy
oh,
Inside Out. So,
definitely.
yeah. And looking forward to the live tomorrow with you, talking about relationships and emotions too.
Of course, emotions are the root.
Yeah,
Everywhere, every topic, emotions are the root. Everything that drives us, I'd say,
that's what makes us human.
definitely. And this is quite an interesting story. Now I'm really curious to know what exactly happened, because when I fall sick, nothing can happen. Okay, like I can't even move from my bed, and I'm like, oh, you can say I'm like a little crybaby, that I want my food and I don't want to move in this. But dude, you wrote a book. I mean, this is something that I haven't seen. I know people do work through their sickness, but writing a book is altogether a different tangent, I'd say. So wow, that is very impressive, I'd say. Uh, I have no words. Like I will take some time to process this, okay? Like being
So
sick and writing the book.
it was just finalizing the book. That's how sometimes I work. It's like I've got to do it, I've got to do it.
That's actually a very good mindset to have when it comes to work, and especially it's something that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And so I'm definitely looking forward to this book launch on
It
Sunday.
doesn't feel like work. It's like I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, because we have a very different definition of work. I see what you're doing there, Meetu. You're you're very notorious when it comes to words. Okay, you just keep reframing it, dude. Ah, a magician of some sort. Anyway, yeah, so it's something you love and not work. Hmm, I'll keep that in mind. So, I think this is what we're gonna do for the next few weeks. Every week we're gonna meet on Saturday. This is to know, like, just to notify all our subscribers and viewers. Every Saturday you'll meet us at the same time, 8 p.m. as per Indian Standard Time and 3:30 p.m. as per Irish time. And we would love to take your questions. If you've missed out anything, feel free to ask us right away, DM us, or send us the comments. And do let us know what you feel, what you think about these talks. Should we continue on a different topic, or do you want to know more about something? Please let us know about that. Looking forward to your book launch, Meetu, on Sunday. And I hope
Thank
it
you.
goes well.
Thank you. And I hope to see more and more people tomorrow for our live
Yeah.
session of Sense, Sensibility, and Senseless.
Oh yeah. That's a different story how we came up with this name,
I
right?
know. We've got
But
to talk about that sometime.
yeah, we should. We should have a whole episode about this.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for Sense, Sensibility, and Senseless. We'll see you tomorrow and have a good evening.
Yeah. Good evening. See you tomorrow.